our society makes a similar mistakes again, you again see cycles of error, cycles of judgment, repeating of prior errors, you see. Okay, then we have hedging can also be seen as a cyclical activity. There are times when the cycle is efficient and there are times when the cycle is inefficient. This is our contribution to time, where we are saying that, like Tony Plummer said, and like Sculptor said, that there is a composite cycle. There is a joining of the cycles that can be done. There is an order among all this cycle talk, and we are saying that the order is in time. The larger cycle is made of smaller cycles, smaller cycle is made of smaller cycles. So there is a hierarchy of time cycles, and which is what we are contributing to the cycle literature, and we are trying to publish, research, and apply and use. This is the 9.6 year cycles, and Edward R. Dewey, who started the foundation of cycles in 1940s, and who was asked by President Hoover to find out why the Great Depression happened, could not find the answer. He met many people and he realized that there was a time cycle order which cannot be changed, or which is so Great Depression is going to happen again. And so he started in 1940 the foundation of cycles to study time in various areas and various subjects. And from the foundation of cycles, I have taken these few ideas, which is that there is a 9.6 year cycle in salmon. There is in snowshoe rabbits. Their appearance in Canada, heart diseases, grasshopper outbreak, pine cones, people going to churches, religion, belief in religion, women, sunspots, poets becoming more creative, weather fluctuation, battles, and stocks and indices, and they have followed a 10-year cycle. So if I talk about 1998 as the Russian ruble crisis, and if I look at India in 1998, and if I look at many countries worldwide, I see an equity low, I see a structure low, and if I add 1998, 10 years to 1998, I come to 2008. And okay, 10-year cycle could be stretched to 11-year cycle. So 2009, March 2009 could be a 10-11-year cycle bottoming on global equity, and all the talk of crisis might be happening after a 10-year cycle is behind us. We have seen already a large cycle down. So this is how we can connect and start thinking about cycles. The cycles can also be seen on smaller time frame, where we're talking about the murders happening 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., burglary happening 6 p.m. 2 a.m. Saturday night, the most uncriminal month of all, May, more dog bites in May, June is the peak month for suicides, admission to mental hospitals, also the peak month for marriages. The number of earthquakes fluctuate in cycles, real estate activity fluctuate in cycles, and male emotion, industrial accidents, and advertising effectiveness is cyclical, political landslides is cyclical. And this is where we come to indicators, momentum. You take a survey among 100 people, 30 people, among your group of traders, and you can plot a survey index. This is a sentiment survey index, where 70%, if it goes to 70%, 70% say markets are going up. If it comes down to 20%, 20% say it's going up. So 70% bullish, 20% bullish. We do a Romanian sentiment survey where we study market behavior, and we have been doing it for 12 months. We do survey from the local market players, and they give us bullish percentage and bearish percentage, and this sentiment extreme work. When most of the people are bullish, the oscillator is at the top and it is a market top, and similarly when very few people are bullish and 20% are bullish, that's a good time to buy. Now Romanian sentiment index is saying that market, very few people are bullish, every majority is bearish. We published it 3 days back and the markets are 6% up. So the whole idea of cyclicality in sentiment, that is why they say very few people see a market bottom and very few people see a market top, because as a majority we move from one sentiment to the other, and if we have to understand cyclicality we have to detach from the sentiment. This is the this is how the indicators are made. So if you see rate of change or RSI, you see a similar cyclicality. Just a minute please, my slides are not a little bit slow. Okay, so these are the classic RSI, the classic RSI indicator. We have this classic oscillator which very few of us thought as cycles. How many of us looked at momentum as time cycle? Momentum is nothing. RSI, MACD, stochastics, all of these indicators are nothing but expression of time. So if you see cycles, indicator going up and indicator going down, you are looking at nothing but time cycle. You see, so here we have the uh, the the RSI chart of euro dollar. Let me, this is the RSI chart, and one of the ways to understand indicators, I want to go back a little bit. Doesn't, okay, so I can't open the slide. So this is one of the classic ways to look at indicators, which says that if this indicator is falling, it's also an expression of time falling. When the indicator is falling, the time is falling, and if the prices are keep rising, they are rising against a falling time. So so what I'm trying to show you here is how momentum indicators can be looked also as time cycles. And I have some more cases here on indicators. This is another one which is on MACD, and rather than looking at just overbought and oversold, one should try to look at them as top in time, bottom in time, top in time, bottom in time. And if you start looking at indicators like a cycle, you might understand the time element a bit more. This is another one where we have taken uh, two indicators, one on small time frame, one on large time frame, and as you can see that the smaller time frame may give you some idea of time, the larger time frame may give you another idea of time. And what we have shown you here is that the larger time is more important than the smaller time. So if weekly indicators or monthly indicators are still negative, then your daily focus on daily time may not help you find the trend, because with indicators like with time, the larger time is more important than the smaller time. So one should try to play in the direction of the larger time, because if you are going to play in the direction of the larger time, you have more possibility of being right or being with the trend. Now this is where we have done a technique of how to play on indicators along with price. So if you are seeing indicators as a time cycle, whenever the time cycle starts to fall, and at the same time if price starts to fall, it's a good time to sell. Same way, when the time starts to rise and prices also start to rise, I've drawn trend lines here. So if we have a start of a time cycle, the time cycle, a new cycle is starting here, and the prices have a trend line, and both the prices and the time, which is the indicator, starts to rise. It's this time and the prices are moving in the same direction. If I have a peak time and the time starts to break here, and I have a breakdown in price here, I'm trading in the direction of the time with the trend line break and with the indicator break. I'm trying to place my position with time. So these are some of the ways we can start to look at classic indicators as more as an expression of time rather than just overbought, oversold. Because if we are going to just look at overbought, oversold, we may not understand the time element there. Now so of course the indicators can be seen as patterns also, and there can be head and shoulder patterns, double top, double bottoms. But what are these double tops and head and shoulder? They are basically giving an indication of a start of a time cycle up. When the time cycle starts up on an indicator, it is saying that a time is starting up. If a time is starting up, you should understand that playing in the direction of the time is very important. These are the other indicators which I have shown a double bottom on patterns to understand whether the indicators are rising or falling. This is another head and shoulder, a start of an indicator time down. The time cycle is starting down. It is not just an oversold, it is start of a time cycle down. Then we have another one here which we can used with the Dow theory aspect, which is peaks and troughs. If indicators is making higher peak, higher troughs, lower peak, lower troughs, we can start understanding it as a time. When the indicator makes higher peaks, the time is up. When indicator makes lower peaks, the time is down. When indicator makes higher troughs, the time is up. When indicator makes lower trough, the time is down. So we can start seeing time through indicators, and that is what is the extension of the idea of time that I explained you. This is another one which says that when markets are trended, they trend to remain overbought. When the markets are downtrended, they tend to remain oversold in a low territory. This is another way of understanding time. When time is subdued, it is low time. This is a high time or peak time. This is a low time or bottom time. So when should I buy? I should be preparing to buy here at the bottom time. When should I sell? So I should sell at the peak of the time. So one can start understanding time through classic indicators. You see, one may not see in the noise of indicator what are the various things, but if you clearly start training your eyes, you can start seeing indicators behaving like price. They move up, they move down, prices move up, prices move down. The indicators also show that order, just that we are not visually trained to see them. This is the next slide where we can see in the classic prices, we say, okay, come on, where is the time? But if we start identifying lows and highs, we can still see time cycles in prices. So this is all I have for you, and I can take your queries now.